See it, yep.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, thanks everyone for calling in for this presentation. I'm Sandra Johnson. I'm the founder, CEO of Global Mobile Finance, Inc. A little bit about me. I had over 26 years of experience with IBM before I left and started my own company. I'm a master inventor. And the last relevant background for me as it relates to this is my last IBM role. I was the Chief Technology Officer for IBM Central, East, and West Africa. And so I want to spend some time sharing with you about my latest endeavor, geeRemit, which is a remittance mobile app, a relationship-driven remittance mobile app with initial focus on Sub-Saharan Africa. Remittance is a $550+ billion market with over 200 million senders, emerging countries. And this $550 billion market is for funds moved. It translates to nearly $40 billion market in terms of revenue. Sub-Saharan Africa, which is what I'm focusing on initially, is a $46 billion market. We initially plan to target the countries you see here, which in total is an $8 billion market. When I say target these countries, I mean senders who live in the West, starting in the United States, who send funds to family members and friends in these countries. So what are some of the issues with remittance in Sub-Saharan Africa? Well, it's very costly. On average, the cost for sending funds is 9.3% to Sub-Saharan Africa, which is the highest in the world. And most of the citizens of the countries in Sub-Saharan Africa are unbanked. They do not have credit cards or bank accounts. In many instances, the transfer times are slow. They're also inconvenient because many of the recipients live in remote areas and it's very difficult for them to reach a pickup location. And for those who do and pick up the money, it's very dangerous for them to walk around with a lot of money. And then finally, most of the remittance service providers simply focus on sending money from sender to receiver, and they do not work to build relationships with the customers, with their customers. And as you can see in this particular slide, those companies that do work to build relationships with the customer increase their sales, by 85%, and their margins greater than 25%. So it's very important to work to build customer relationships, which is the focus of geeRemit provider. And with geeRemit, a customer, and in our case, the customer is the sender, will then download the mobile app, register to transfer the recipient's information, and then once the request for the transfer is sent, then the customer receives an acknowledgement of the initiation of the transfer. Now the funds are deposited into the mobile money account of the recipient. Mobile money is a little different from mobile banking that we're used to, in the sense that this is a financial account that is associated with a mobile telephone service and not a bank. As I mentioned earlier, the vast majority of the citizens in these countries do not have bank accounts. So the mobile phone service provider initially enables the mobile phone user to have a financial account. Their account number is actually their mobile phone number. It is very popular in this part of the world, and the funds are used to pay for goods and services. So if you go to a grocery store, if you pay your utility bills, etc., you just type in the mobile money, the mobile telephone number of the recipient, and the funds are transferred to the recipient's mobile money account. Mobile money over the past 5 years, ending in 2021, has a compound annual growth rate of 40%. So the main focus of geeRemit, as I mentioned, is to develop a relationship with the customer, and we do that using patent pending technology, lightweight remittance analytics. What essentially this does is it analyzes data about the customer and provide insights and suggestions to the customer for additional remittances. For example, for special days like birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, etc., geeRemit will either automatically or suggest additional funds be transferred to the recipient to celebrate those special events. In addition to that, geeRemit can detect and suggest to the customer that this customer creates a separate financial account so that subsequent transfers of funds, a percentage of the transfer fee is then deposited into this financial account. And this enables the customer over time to save money for the recipient's education, to pay for their school expenses, for example, to start a new business, or any other life-changing activity. So this is a way to build a closer relationship with these suggestions for the customer to enable life-changing activities for the recipients.
That sounds amazing, Sandra. You're out of time.
Okay.
But we really appreciate you going.
This is my last chart.
Your last